afternoon. This is a regularly scheduled meeting for the Caldwell Hearing Examiner for December 27th, 2023, and it is 1:33 in the afternoon. This is a public hearing, and my name is Sabrina Durchie, and I will be your hearing examiner for today. What I can do is I can hear quasi-judicial decisions concerning particular land use applications for the City of Caldwell. During this public hearing process, public oral testimony will be taken from those in attendance and those who have signed up to speak. The sign-up sheet is at the front of the room. When you testify, please come to the podium, please speak into the microphone, and state your full name and address. All comments should be addressed to myself and should be relevant to the application. Once the public hearing is open, staff will present the staff report. Then the applicant or the applicant's representative will be given 10 minutes to speak. After the applicant, we will allow for the public to have 3 minutes to testify, and finally the applicant or applicant's representative will then be permitted with a 5-minute rebuttal. After the rebuttal is given, the public hearing will be closed and no new oral or written testimony will be allowed, unless I decide to reopen the public hearing. We request that everyone treat all parties with fairness and respect. Therefore, please be quiet and respectful when someone is presenting. We are also required by Idaho State Code to take written minutes during our public hearings, so please silence your cell phones throughout the duration of this meeting. Thank you. And let's start. Number one, I guess we'll start with our consent calendar action item to approve my last hearing of October 25th hearing. That was signed, correct? Okay, those have been signed. We do not have any old business, and so we will start with new business. Action item number 1, case number SUP 23000017, Windermere Powerhouse Group, LLC. That is requesting a special use permit to use an existing building in the city center for office space. And with that, Alex, would you like to please start your staff report?
Thank you, Madam Hearing Examiner. Alex Jones, Associate Planner, 621 Cleveland Boulevard. Today, presented to you is SUP 2317, the special use permit for the Windermere Real Estate offices. For the subject site location, this is a 0.24 acre parcel located in the city center district on the corner of Kimball and Cleveland Boulevard. For the development project analysis, the applicant wishes to use the existing building at 805 Cleveland Boulevard for a real estate office. According to City Center Code, an SUP is required to have a office on the first floor, and since it is a single-story building, they had to come through the SUP. For conditions surrounding the subject site, it is surrounded by commercial to the north, east, and west, and residential/commercial to the south. For zoning comprehensive plan land use analysis, this is in the city center zone with central business district to the south, and the comp plan designation is city center zone. This meets the intent of both the zone and comprehensive plan. We received 4 notifications, those being from the Flood Control District, ITD, Nampa Highway District, and Nampa Planning and Zoning. All shared that they had no concerns for this development. Staff recommends that the hearing examiner approves the request, that such request is subject to the conditions of the FCOs. I stand for questions.
Thank you, Alex. I guess I did have one question concerning parking. So everything's going to stay exactly how it is based on that aerial. There's not going to be any improvements or changes off-site or on-site for parking?
I've been working with the applicant while they're doing this process. They were restriping their parking lot. Okay. Which was allowed, which was approved by us. With that, no other improvements are to be done. They'll do some exterior work. They have a design review permit in for that, just to do some paint changes and a sign. But other than that, the footprint shouldn't be changing.
And for the restriping, should we have that as a condition of approval, or will that be something required when they pull their new building permit?
It'll be required for when they pull their TI permit.
Okay, perfect. Okay, looks like we have one person that has signed up to speak, applicant or the applicant's representative, Cindy Smith. Would you like to come up and please give me your name and address for the record?
Cindy Smith, 805 Cleveland Boulevard, Caldwell. And I really don't have anything unless you have some questions for me.
I did have a few follow-up questions, so besides the parking. In the staff report, it talks about the first floor. So how many is there multiple floors?
Nope,
No,
just single level.
Just a single level. And that's what's triggering the special use permit? Because it's a single level?
Correct.
Okay. And about how many, square feet? Of the boat?
Just about 2,000, maybe a little over.
Okay. Okay. And, follow up to Alex, we have sufficient parking for 2,000 square feet? Okay.
That is correct.
Perfect.
This zone has reduced parking standards and can
Okay.
share parking, but this one has its own on its site, so
Okay.
it's well above the minimum.
Right. Okay. I don't have any other further questions. Cindy, is there anything else that you'd like to share with me before you?
No, I think just to get an okay to go ahead.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Cindy.
Uh-huh.
You can have a seat. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and testify? Did we have someone on Zoom for this item, or that's for our next item?
That's for the next item.
Okay, all right. Okay. With that, I will close the public hearing for case number SUP 23-00017. And based on the testimony, information received, and record of evidence presented, I will make a motion to approve the special use permit for Windermere Group SUP, subject to the approval based on the conditions listed in the staff report. Okay, thank you, ladies. Now, next on the agenda, we have case number SUP 23-000015, BVA Development on behalf of BVA North Ranch LLC that is requesting a special use permit for a mini storage. Alex, would you like to present staff's findings? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madam Hearing Examiner. Again, Alex Jones, planner at 621 Cleveland Boulevard. And today before you, the applicant is presenting SUP 2315 for the North Ranch mini storage. For subject site location, this is located in the North Ranch subdivision along Mueller and Saddle Avenue. This is a 5.26 acre parcel. For development project analysis, the applicant is proposing 449 storage units on 5.26 acres, part of that being the traditional mini storage and then also indoor mini storage. The indoor is located on the northeastern corner. For conditions surrounding the site, you have industrial to the north, commercial to the east, south, and west. For zoning and comprehensive plan, this is zoned M1 light industrial. This is requiring the special use permit in this zone, with M1 to the southeast, north, and west. And for the comprehensive plan, this is for manufacturing production, which also matches with the southeast, north, and west. We also received 4 comments from Flood Control District 10, ITD, Nampa Highway District, and Nampa Planning and Zoning. They shared no concerns with this project, and no public comments were submitted. Staff recommends the hearing examiner approves the request that is subject to the conditions in the FCO. I stand for questions.
Thank you, Alex. I did have a question. So it sounded like this had recently been recorded and there's an existing development agreement on the site?
That is correct.
And for the DA, a mini storage is allowed?
Through a special use permit.
That's what's triggering, their DA's triggering the special use permit?
The DA and the zoning code currently.
Okay. I don't think I have any other questions. Would the applicant or applicant's representative like to come up and testify?
Good afternoon, Elizabeth Allen, 1144 South Silverstone Way, Meridian, Idaho 83642. I'm the planner at Ball Ventures, Alquist. We're before you today to request approval of a special use permit for mini storage for traditional and non-traditional storage units. Next slide. And I do have, our Chief Development Officer was going to join on Zoom. I don't know if he made it because he's traveling, so he may have been delayed because of weather. But he might be joining.
Right.
So the site is located in North Ranch Business Park, so it's north of Highway 2026, and then west of Smead Parkway. The development was platted in 2020 and with a development agreement that established special use permit that would require for mini storage. So the North Ranch Business Park is in its final stages of development. As you see, our parcel is in the middle there. We have D&B supply. There's industrial users to the north, and then we have retail along Highway 2026. And then the development that we have created, it has created a quality high-paying jobs within the city of Caldwell, and has also increased the tax base. And this is one of the last properties that's slated to be developed. Next slide. So the property in question, as I mentioned, is in the center of North Ranch Business Park. So it's tucked away. We're requesting approval of climate-controlled and traditional mini storage units, totaling 449. So we have 7 parking stalls proposed, which includes 1 ADA stall and 6 regular stalls. The main access point is on Mueller Drive, as you see there up on the north side, and then emergency access is provided on Haystack Way on that bottom west corner. And then the office and the climate-controlled units are in that northeast corner that you see there. And then landscaping will be provided in accordance with city code along the frontages of Haystack Way, Mueller Drive, and Saddle Avenue. Next slide. So this is a site plan. The one thing I want to point out here is that we will be served by city water and sewer. There is a seepage bed currently on the site in that northeast corner. We're proposing to relocate that kind of in the center a little bit to the north, so west of those climate-controlled units. Next slide. The facility will be constructed of high-quality materials consisting of concrete masonry and steel, and earth tones that are contrasted with red accent panels, parapets, and doors. And then we have provided additional elevations in our application. On the top are the material colors, and you see that masonry. Next slide. So here's an example of the design of the units from another location that we're constructing. So you see here the concrete masonry in cream and chocolate, and that's proposed in our application as well. Next slide. So briefly talking about the character of the area. Alex went over it, but I'll just kind of provide a little bit more details. As I mentioned previously, that the parcel is uniquely situated in the center of North Ranch Business Park. You have manufacturing production zoning to the north, south, east, and west, and then commercial and service further down along Highway 2026. And then you have that red line in the middle is the airport overlay zone, and that's for noise-sensitive uses. So we're just on the edge there, but it's a compatible use for the impact an airport could have on properties in the area. As you see, the site lacks any access or visibility to Highway 2026 that would be needed for commercial and retail uses, and it's not quite large enough for a true industrial use. So the characteristics of the site make the storage units the highest and best use of the property, and it'll also be complementary of the surrounding uses. And I'll be providing some photos for more context. And it's tucked away right there, so you see some residential zoning to the northwest. So none of the residential uses actually have visibility of the where the storage units are proposed. Next slide. So this top image is looking north from the site. So I was taking this from that northern sidewalk adjacent to the property. So you can see the D&B distribution center in the corner on the left, and that vacant site is proposed to be an industrial user. And then the bottom image is looking northwest at the D&B distribution center, and then to the left you see cutting edge manufacturing, and then there's industrial tenant spaces. Next slide. So the top left is looking northeast, and that's industrial tenant spaces, and then right in front of that you can see that the back part of D&B supply where customers can pick up feed and other larger supplies. And then the bottom left is looking southeast, and that's the new D&B supply store, the retail. In front of that, along Highway 2026, there's a gas station and some flex space. And then the image on the right is looking southwest at cutting-edge manufacturing and industrial tenant space. Next slide. And so this final image is looking at the site, so the area in the forefront is a subject parcel, and then we have our VA clinic, and then ICCU, which has been constructed, but it's not shown on this image. Next slide. For the comprehensive plan, the proposed storage unit facilities are within a future land use designation of light industrial, as well as the properties to the north, south, east, and west. And then it also aligns with 1 goal and 5 policies outlined in the comprehensive plan. Next slide. So in conclusion, the proposed storage units meet the goals and vision of the city's comprehensive plan and will be developed in alignment with city code. The use will provide a suitable complementary use in the center of North Ranch Business Park, designed with high-quality materials and landscaping. And we respectfully request approval of the special use permit for traditional and non-traditional storage units. Thank you, and I'll stand for questions.
Elizabeth, can we go back to the site plan, please? Can you tell me a little bit more about access to the units? Is this going to be 24/7? Is there going to be an office up front? How is that going to operate?
Yeah, so there will be an office up front. It will be gated. They do use surveillance. The site will be fully secured. The customers won't be able to access the emergency access on Haystack Way. I believe it's 24/7, but I'd have to confirm.
Okay.
But it is fully secured with an office.
Okay. And the office is like a little cutout at the very top?
Yeah, it'll be, I believe it's that northern portion of that larger building there where the climate-controlled units will be.
And then, Elizabeth, for those 2 access points, are those, you run that by fire, and that has a radius and everything so fire trucks can get in there according to their building fire code? Yes, and then as part of one of the conditions, it'll be required to meet fire code, but they didn't provide any concerns with our access points. Okay. And we did hold a pre-application meeting and had follow-up discussions with the engineering and fire department. Okay. It just looks a little tight as far as the radius down below, but I'm sure once you go through building permit, they will review that. Okay. I do have a question for Alex. Alex, is this going to have any design review applications, or is
It will not.
we are the design review right now? Okay.
Correct.
I was just curious. I don't think I have any additional questions. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with me before you end your presentation?
I don't think so. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. Alex, do you have anything else that you'd like to
No,
include?
I'm okay.
Okay. With that, I will close the public hearing on SUB 23-0000. Zeros always kill me, you guys. 15 North Ranch Mini Storage, and based on the testimony, information received, and record of evidence presented, I will make a motion to approve the special use permit for BVA Development North Ranch Mini Storage, subject to the approval based on the conditions listed in the staff report. And then we removed that one that we discussed earlier. That's been removed. Okay, perfect. Okay. With that, we have taken care of all of our consent calendar, no old business, and we just got through new business, so I can officially close the public hearing. It is 1:52 p.m. Thank you. Did that gentleman want to testify, or was he on? Okay. Okay. Thank you.